What is music? What does it mean? It is everywhere around us and everywhere we go. Have you ever watched a modern movie without a soundtrack? Probably not. Almost every shop you walk into has music playing in the background, and every video game and every TV show. And of course, all of you listen to music on your own time. It has a significant impact on how you interpret things, and without it, life would be vastly changed. For example, compare the trailer of Jaws with and without music. It loses much of the context and becomes a random, low-quality video about a lady who can't swim. A large part of why horror movies, or any movies, are compelling is because of music. Think of it like taste. A large part of it is smell. Music has profound impacts on our emotions, and that is what the book This Is Your Brain on Music is about. In it, the author Daniel Levitin argues that humans have evolved to uniquely respond to music, and that is the main reason we enjoy it. While I agree that his argument for evolution is convincing, and that he is technically correct, to reduce music to nothing more than a few neurochemical responses is short-sighted. There have been multiple arguments against music being something evolutionarily beneficial, with psychologists like Steven Pinker calling it auditory cheesecake, nothing more than entertainment and useless fun. Levitin counters that argument by looking at history. Music has existed for a very long time, with artifacts like bone flutes being dated at 50,000 years old. And flutes are probably not the first instrument to have been used, with rattles and drums and song most likely preceding it by many years. Music has been recorded in every era and culture. If it really was just a cheesecake, something purely for fun, it would have died out long ago if it had no benefits. What were these benefits? Well, there are some theories that those who could make music and have extra time were those who were successful in hunting and gathering. It also showed that they had a surplus of food to be able to waste energy playing an instrument or dancing. Most importantly, music was used as an early language, potentially. There are studies that show that the brain reacts to music similarly to how it reacts to languages. However, Levitin neglects to go further on this topic. A case where music and language are intertwined was Gabrielle Giffords. Gabrielle Giffords was the victim of a shooting, and she became unable to speak due to brain damage. She relearned by singing songs with lyrics until she could speak once again. Music therapy, while not completely researched, has beneficial effects on those who have suffered strokes or heart disease. We are also finally aware of music and the differences in sound it creates. There are differences in intonation when we speak and similar structures appearing in music. We can also differentiate musical voices and themes and recognize distinct instruments and pieces very quickly. Just like we can recognize our names in a jumble of conversation, we can pick up on hidden motifs, such as in Bach preludes and fugues that vary the theme many times. Listen to the following and see how many times you hear a similar pattern from the beginning. The brain is able to remember tempo and pitch, able to play it back almost perfectly. It remembers music so well and easily from the first few notes, just as one recognizes a speech from the first few words. Alzheimer's patients who have lost much of their memories still remember their music, and they become invigorated, dancing in joy upon listening to the music of their childhood.
And immediately he lights up. His face assumes expression, his eyes open wide.
We react to music emotionally. There are clearly sad and happy songs, and they influence our mood greatly. This is where Levitin leaves things out. He describes our listening to music as constantly predicting what will come next in the music. Some pieces, the better ones, break your expectations and take it somewhere new before returning to the tone that you expect, to create emotion. Levitin strips it down to a neural response in the brain, with certain parts of the brain activating when predicting and being surprised. This is all technically correct. However, he forgets that music is a language. Yes, our brains do react in the way he describes, but there is more because music is communication. We feel emotions because the music is saying something. Each crescendo and decrescendo has meaning. Why is this a message worth spreading? Because, as I said before, music is everywhere around us, and it holds a message. It creates neurochemical responses and emotional responses, and we ought to know how it affects us. And we also ought to know where it came from. There can be no doubt that it is a major achievement of humanity, with NASA even including it on the golden record sent out to represent humanity. Across all genres, music is powerful. Sure, it isn't a pressing matter, but it is important because from our childhood to our funeral, we will be listening to music almost every day.